Yo, are we live? Let me cut out my microphone. Yes, sir. Let's cut out the microphone so I can come in a little bit louder, loud and clear, loud and clear. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are live. We are live. We are live. Let me do a little magic right there. There you go. See that? Magic. Do a little magic in the camera, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Friday. You know what that means. It is 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. That means it is time for the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show. I'm your host, Desmond A, here to help all the producers out, help you guys grow on your music production journey. And can you guys believe that is October? That is crazy, man. Where does the time go? Where does the time go? It seems like it was January yesterday. Now it is already, you know, already October, man. That's crazy. Time just flies. But we are here. So let me get this fixed right there. There we go. There we go. All right. Perfect. So I'd like to thank all the excuse me, sorry about that. I'd like to thank all the producers who submitted for this week's Heat Check show. I'm very excited. If this is your first time watching the Heat Check show, my name is Desmond A. I'm a music producer based in Atlanta. I've been doing music for quite a long time. I like to say over 12 years, but it's been longer than that. I don't want to admit how old I am, just to let you guys know. So, been doing music for quite a while, have placements on different networks such as E Television, Sci Fi, Bravo, uh, few more networks. Also produce music for very, very talented independent music artists out here in the Atlanta area, recorded them, engineered them. So I am very grateful to give all the gems, all the jewels that I've learned throughout the years over to you guys. Also, gotta say, special announcement. I have just released my first course. It is called The Drum Doctor. So go to DesmondASounds.com, scroll down the courses. You will find The Drum Doctor. It is a beat mixing course, more specifically about the drums. We are in the hip hop, R&B, Afrobeat world where the drums are one of the most important elements. And if you don't have them right, you kind of ruin everything. So go there, DesmondASounds.com, scroll down to The Drum Doctor, check it out, get it. The course is well worth it, well worth the investment. I promise you, you will see the value and it will pay for itself with how many placements and how many opportunities you get from all that game that I've given you in that course. So make sure you guys go to DesmondASounds.com and get The Drum Doctor. Very great course. Shout out to the chat. We are streaming live on YouTube, of course, and also on Twitch. So shout out to everybody on Twitch who is watching this live stream. Shout out to you. This YouTube channel is growing, guys. I can see the analytics on the back end. Man, my percentage is looking good. Just people are really loving the content, not just the live streams, but just the video on demands, man. I really appreciate that. For a channel my size, I could just see the ratio from the views to the likes, and people like watching this content. So we're gonna go to the top. I can't do it without your support. So if you know other producers who would benefit from the Desmond A Sounds YouTube channel, the Heat Check live stream, all the free stuff that I give out to you guys, make sure you share this on Reddit and, all the other forums and discords if you enjoy the content. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a marathon stream. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to do a live heat check during the streamathon. So you guys are going to be able to send beats live. I'm gonna give out stuff, man. It's just gonna be a good time. So let's work together to get this channel to 1K subscribers. And we of course know where this channel is going. It's gonna go all the way up to the top. I can already see it now. So you guys are right here on the ground floor as it develops, and I want to give a special shout out to you guys because this channel is going places, and shout out to you because I cannot do it without you. This is for the entire community. So that's enough of that. Back to the Heat Check Show. So if you are new, just want to give a little bit of frame, a little bit of what goes on here. You know, you walk into some people's house, you have to take off your shoes. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain way that they go about doing things. And the same thing is true here on the Heat Check. So here on the Heat Check Show, we don't snap. We don't roast. This is not here for us to get our jollies off and you know, kick other producers down. Nobody hopped out the womb knowing how to make fire 808s. You know, nobody jumped out the womb knowing how to, you know, pick the right kick drum. You know, we've all had our beginning phases, our middle phases, and then eventually we mature to more distinguished producers. So if you hear a sound in a beat and the beat itself is just not, you know what I'm saying, it's not there, give tips, give actionable steps. What we say here at the Heat Check is, hey, you need to work on that melody. Maybe try this. Or, ooh, that synth sound is just too harsh. Maybe try pulling it back a bit. Maybe try using an EQ. Maybe try, you know, pulling down the volume of that synth. You know, I know of this VST. Download this VST here. That's what we say here at the Heat Check. We give real actionable steps so producers can grow. This is not the ha he he show. This is sword sharpening sword, ironing sharpening iron, kind of like martial arts. Nobody in martial arts goes up and just roast people. They say, hey, you know, throw your jab like this, throw your knee strike like that, throw your elbow strikes like that. You correct them. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're gonna do it here on the Heat Check. So also, let me point out, if I haven't been clear, on the Heat Check Show, I play about 1.5 minutes of the beats. Then I go into giving the feedback. So not playing the full beats, just 1.5 minutes. Then I jump straight into the feedback. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. It's a funny thing. Last week was the busiest Heat Check we've had. So we had quite a few submissions last week. This week seems to be a little bit different. Guess you guys got all the free game and you thought you was all good. But no, this week is a little bit on the lighter side, which kind of expect. I see the ebbs and flows of the submissions at times. So it's just what it is. But I promised you guys a show. It's Friday, so I'm going to show up regardless. So we have not too many beats this week, you know, not too many beats this week. So we're going to get straight into it, so you guys can get your feedback and get on with your day. So let's get started from the top. Ladies and gentlemen, the first producer that we have here on the Heat Check is JVN World with 2025 9 FLP2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. Then we're going to listen to this beat. Then I'm going to go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with 2025 9 FLP2. All right, JVN World. Um, the first thing I noticed about that beat was the rhythm of the synth. You had some type of synth loop going on there, and it wasn't on time. It's like, excuse me, sorry about that. Get my pen. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So the first thing I noticed about that beat was that synth loop that you had going, that droplet sound there. Dun, 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 dun. The rhythm of that was off. It didn't even have a groove. Now, to me, it sounds like there's some type of sloppy sample chopping that's going on there. Maybe that's some type of loop that you have going on that isn't quite time stretched or chopped on the grid properly. If that's not happening, you may be holding you might be using like an arpeggio in your VST, and it just has a weird rhythm based on how it's set. If it's the second option, if that the second part is happening, what you can do is you can export the loop as a WAV file, put it back in your VST. It looks like put it back in your DAW. Looks like you're using FL Studio. And once you put it back in your DAW, you can time stretch it to make sure that it fits the rhythm and it fits on the grid. And once you do that, then you can add the drums, and then you know everything's gonna be in sync and on groove and on rhythm. Also, the next thing I noticed was the melody. It's like the synth loop that you had going on. Then you had these bells going on. Things just felt like they were off, like they were out of key. They weren't working together. If you haven't, I would definitely take some time to just learn some basic music theory. Just learn your major and minor scales. Also learn to play some of your favorite songs, even if they're real simple songs, on the piano, on the keyboard. Once you do that, it's going to really start to train your ears so you more easily can recognize what sounds good and what doesn't sound good together melodically. So we just need to kind of get some ear training going on there so you can pick up what needs to fit with what. The drum pattern that you had was good. I like the drum pattern. I like the 808. I like the overall groove of things when it comes to the drums. So it's almost like I want you to keep the drums, mute everything else, and just add a new melody to it. But if you don't want to do that, you definitely don't have to do that. But I did like the drum bounce. How you program the drums was good. So I did like that. So shout out to you, JVN World. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. All right, moving forward, we have Lavis Beats with Project 37. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and do that now. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Lavis Beats Project 37. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Lavis Beats. That definitely had that grown and sexy vibe, you know? Almost felt like I was on a Tom Joyner cruise, you know, with a white linen outfit, you know, holding a margarita, doing my little two-step, you know, that little watch out there now, you know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like. Nah, it wasn't that grown and sexy. I'm messing with you. But yeah, for some reason the artist that I thought of was like somebody like Justin Timberlake on a beat like that. That's that type of beat that you have right there is something that songwriters really like. You have things structured in a way where I know where the different parts of the song is gonna be, but at the same time you didn't feel it with so much bells and this and that going on. A songwriter is going to sit in the studio, lean back, close their eyes, and just vibe, come up with harmonies, melodies, ad-libs, hooks, verses, intros, outros, bridges. And that's the thing that a lot of producers don't understand. A beat like that is such a great structure, it's such a great foundation that if you start to add things, you start to make things already finished, then you can start to pull away from the chance that the songwriter is going to be able to write a full song to it. So this is what I'm talking about when I say, you know, you don't have to do too much on a beat. So, you know, Lavis Beats, if you don't know any songwriters, please jump on Instagram. Please, you know, wherever. Instagram is probably the best place. Find some songwriters, send it to them and say, hey, I think you could write a dope song to something I got. Jump in their DMs. Whatever you have to do, get someone to write a song to this beat. This doesn't need to sit on your drive. This doesn't need to, you know, I guess you could lease the beat or something like that, but this beat needs to be placed with someone so they can create a song so that song can go out to people. So that's exactly what I'm hearing with this beat. That beat has a lot of potential. As far as constructive feedback, the only thing I could really hear is I feel like that bass, the bass that you have could be a little more present, but that's it. That's it. Just a little more present. That's all I'm hearing. If you have CLA bass by Waves, you could use that on the bass. The Honeycomb HD or Honeycomb OD that I did a review on, that one has like good bass saturation that you can use on it to kind of boost it up. The Honeycomb bass OD that I reviewed, it was free when I reviewed it. It looks like the company actually made it paid now. I think it's like $20 or something like that. Maybe they came across my video and was like, wow, this guy is, maybe they should cut me a check, man. Canvas Audio, if you're watching this, cut me a check. I really enjoyed your plugin, so cut me a check. Anyway, but yeah, Lavis Beats, great beat. You need to get that to a songwriter. All right? So shout out to you. Appreciate you for submitting on the heat check, and hope that you do submit again in the future. Shout out to Hector in the chat. Hector in the chat, I appreciate you for showing up and checking out the heat check. Hopefully we can get a submission for you next time. Yes, I am live on Twitch. I believe it's Desmond A Sounds on Twitch. So yeah, you can find me on Twitch as well. So should be streaming there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we have SQUUS, Just a Cause. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I am going to mute my mic. We're going to go ahead and listen to this beat. Then I'm going to give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen together. Ladies and gentlemen, that was SQUUS with Just a Cause. Shout out to you. Glad you submitted, and I hope to see you again on the Heat Check. So, with that beat, the first thing that I noticed, couple things. The first thing that I noticed is that kick. Let's try switching that kick out for a different kick. I want like a punchier, just like a punchier kick. That one had a lot of tone to it. Let's just get a standard, just a pow, just like a strong kick. We don't need to have, just something about that kick kind of threw me off. So I want you to go in your library of different kick drums that you have and just keep switching it out. Keep the beat playing, and as you have the beat playing, switch out the kick, and then you're gonna notice one that just feels better. So let's go ahead and do that. Next, I want you to watch the groove of the drums. I was trying to get into the bounce of the music. You know, this is Afro beat. We're trying to really swing and move our body. It felt like certain elements, like the snare and the kick, certain things were like didn't quite groove right, didn't quite feel right. So another thing you could do with that, you could mute the music and then listen to the drums. This is, Afro beat. It's really supposed to hit you. It's really supposed to move you. So mute the music, play the drums, and then just listen. Can I really groove to this? Okay, what's wrong? Oh, I need to slide the snare over a little bit. Okay, I need to do this with the kick a little bit. I just need to tighten the groove, so when I just listen to the drums, I'm feeling it already. So let's do that as well to that beat. And also the melody, I felt like there was parts of the melody that was slightly, I don't know, like it's almost like it didn't need to be there. So what I want you to do with that is I want you to sing to the music and then make sure that you're not fighting any elements in your beat. If you can sing to your music and you feel like you have a clear path and nothing is melodically getting in the way, then you're good to go. But if you have any parts that you even start to question, like, ooh, this could throw off the writer, this could throw off the artist, then go ahead and mute it. It's better to have too few elements in the beat than too many elements in the beat. So let's do that. I feel like there's something going on melodically with one of those instruments that was throwing me off. So let's do that as well. So shout out to you. I'm glad you submitted. And it looks like you have another submission. All right. All right. Shout out to Jay Zo. We got Jay Zo in the chat. Shout out to you, my brother. Jay Zo in the chat. Shout out to you. And Hector, I'm hoping to hear you too, man. Hopefully you submit on the Heat Check. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. As soon as I am done with this stream and you can submit for next Friday's show, I'm going to make a community post so you are aware, so you can go ahead and click on that link and submit your beats for next Friday's Heat Check tonight. So make sure you subscribe, pay attention to your feed, because I will be making that community post so you are aware, so I can give you the free feedback that you're looking for. So shout out to you, Hector. Hector, that's going to be, the free submissions are closed for tonight, but I'm going to make the post for next Friday's show. So close for tonight, next Friday, you could do that. Shout out to you, Hector. Yes, no problem. Jay Zo, I'm hoping to hear from you too soon, man. I know you're probably out there on the grind out there in Miami, doing your thing. But I am here for you whenever you have a chance to submit out there on the grind in Miami. All right. It's all good, Jay Zo. As long as you're here, we are good to go, man. Know you're out there on the grind doing your thing. So, all right. Moving forward, we have another submission by this same producer, SQUUS, with Just Play. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to press play. So once I do that, we should be hearing some fire. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. Going to go ahead and play the music. Then I'm going to give my feedback. So let's go ahead and do that.
Every day, we stay juggling. We get right, ready, go.
ladies and gentlemen, that was SQUUS with Just Play. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Now, with that beat, Just Play. Couple things here. The first thing was I felt like the bass was taking up a lot of headroom. It's like you were trying to find space for the bass within the beat, and I'm sure that if I were to open up your DAW and I look at the bass, the bass channel, it's gonna be up there. Like you're probably up there at like 4 or 3. It's just eating up a whole lot of headroom when it comes in. The reason I could tell that is because it sounds like it's fighting for space inside the beat. And that typically comes from just not quite balancing the sounds well. So you want to get your sound and volume balance better so that you can pull up the bass and it can fit properly into the beat. And that's something that I used to do myself, is not quite know how to have my bass in the beat with the kick and not eat up all the space, but at the same time still feel the bass. So it's a dance. It's a balance. And speaking of balance, I actually have a module in my new Drum Doctor course that you can get on DesmondASounds.com. The Drum Doctor is my new course that I just put out. So make sure you go there, check it out. I have a module on volume balancing / gain staging, and I address this exact scenario and how to prevent it moving forward. So make sure you go check that out as well. It is well worth the investment because you are going to save yourself a lot of time and headache. All right. Another thing that I heard with that beat is it had some melody issues. I felt like certain elements started to get out of key. You know, another reason why I mute my mic when I'm doing the reviews is I start to sing, I start to rap, and I want to see if I have space to do something on the track. Unfortunately, I ran into different melodic walls because certain parts of the beat started to get out of key. So we want to work on that. And if you're having issues keeping music in key, it's happened to me before, please take the time. Basic music theory, just learn your major chords, your minor chords, practice some of your favorite songs. I promise you they're much easier to play on the keyboard than you probably think they are. So please do that basic music theory and then learn some of your favorite songs on the keyboard, even like pop songs that you hear on the radio. Just hear how people put things together, and it's just going to train your ear to be much more sharp. So then you can pick up whenever things are in key and out of key. You can easily place them there and not run into these issues. And that was pretty much it for that beat. You know, I was feeling the overall vibe of the beat, but just those particular things were throwing off the beat. So we definitely want to fix that so we can have the best presentation of this beat moving forward. And we can have someone to be able to write a song to it. So shout out to you, SQUUS, for submitting. I'd be glad to review your music again on the Heat Check. Just please submit and I will give you help. All right. I got you, J-Zo. Now, speaking of that, J-Zo, and for everyone watching, I will say this again. I am on the road to 1K subscribers here on Desmond A Sounds, this YouTube channel that you're watching. And once I hit 1K subscribers, I'm going to do a streamathon. So it's just going to be me here streaming. I'm probably going to do it on a Saturday. You know, a lot of people are going to be off on Saturdays. I'm just tentatively going to do it on a Saturday. I'm going to do a live Heat Check show. We're just going to kick it. I'm going to do some giveaways, give yourself some free exclusive stuff that's not out there for everybody. So let's get this channel to 1K, Desmond A Sounds. If you are enjoying all the free value that I give you almost pretty much every day on the channel with my video on demands and my shorts, on top of the Heat Check show, on top of all the free stuff on my website, please spread the word. If you're on Reddit, if you're on different Discords, Desmond A Sounds, YouTube, it says Desmond A Sounds on YouTube, man. Let's get to 1K and we're going to have a celebration. on YouTube. It is going to be a lot of fun. So this channel is only I won't say only, because I do value every subscriber, but I'm just saying it's at the point that I'm at 500, roughly 500. Then we get to 1K, then it's to the moon. So, this is going to be a big channel. You guys can see by, how things are going. This is going to be a big channel. You guys are here on the ground floor, and I cannot do it without you guys' support. So please spread the word so we can have that 1K party before we have the 10K party. Then we're going to have the 20K party. This space definitely needs, I don't want to sound, whatever, but this space would benefit from my perspective. So I am glad to be here to help the producer community. So let's do that. Shout out to you, Jay-Z. Yes, sir. All right. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we have Neptune Blue with Love Jones. Hector, this channel has been around. It's almost been a year now. So started, I think it was November, and then yes, so we are already almost in November. So, YouTube. How long have I been doing music? I've been doing music for over 12 years. But the YouTube, if that's what you're talking about, then the YouTube, it's been a year. So just to clarify, Hector. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to review Neptune Blue with Love Jones. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, play this beat, and go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and do that. And gentlemen, that was Neptune Blue with Love Jones. All right. Now, Neptune Blue. First things first, you already know what I'm gonna say. We need some headphones for you, Neptune Blue. Yes, I am still saying it. I'm saying it again because we have those hacked off frequencies that I can't quite hear, and I want to hear the punch of that kick, bow, right in my headphones, but it's cut off. So, definitely keep grinding, keep cooking up. So once you do get your headphones, you can go back in your DAW and get things the way they need to be. Yeah. Other than the hacked off frequencies, another thing I was hearing in that beat was the 808. There were certain parts where the 808 was out of key. So what I want you to do is I give this tip on almost all the heat check shows, a lot of producers. Let's go ahead and transpose the key, push it up. Excuse me, not transpose the key. I'm all over the place. We're going to push the octave of where the 808 is up. You can push it up even again, even a higher level. Just listen, and it's gonna sound more like a bell, and it's easier for the human ear to hear those higher frequencies. So if we can usually tell when a bell is out of key. So if that's out of key, you can fix it, and then you transpose it back down an octave, make sure it sounds good, and transpose it back down to the original bass octave that you want it to be in, and then it's gonna feel right. It's gonna feel much better. It's gonna feel much more musical to what you have there. So we want to correct that so we can have everything sounding put together. I was definitely getting like Wiz Khalifa vibes on that. I was getting like Cushion Orange Juice era, you know, the Sledgerin era, the Johnny Giuliano era, where they had that laid back stoner type of vibe. So yeah, definitely put me back in that mindset. I still remember that Cushion Orange Juice album. Very good album. So yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I was getting from that. Other than that, man, one thing I really like your drum programming. You know how to keep the groove going. You know how to just get the hi-hats moving, the kicks, everything. I like your drum programming a lot. So, you know, keep it up. You know, continue to submit on the heat check, and I will continue to give you feedback. And it looks like you have another submission. Oh, okay. Let's go. All right. So shout out to the chat. So it looks like we have Neptune Blue in the chat. Just taking a look here. Shout out to you, Neptune Blue. Shout out to you. And Lethal. Lethal, the submissions are closed for the evening, but make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel because I'm going to make a community post after the stream so you can submit for next Friday's show. So just subscribe, and then you're going to check your YouTube feed. Once you see my community post, you're going to see like an animated picture of me, you know, in the studio, and then it's going to give you the link to, you know, submit for next Friday's Heat Check show. But Lethal, I want to see you next Friday, my brother. So don't run away. You know, subscribe, see the community post, and join the family next Friday so I could take a listen to your beats. All right. So let's move forward to the next submission by Neptune Blue this evening. This one's called Winner Takes All. So I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and go ahead and give you my feedback. All right. Shout out to you, Lethal. You are welcome. I will see you next Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Neptune Blue with Winner Takes All. All right, Neptune Blue. Now, I really want to hear the low end on that because that 808 had really nice distortion right there on that mid range. I'm like, ooh, what does the body of that 808 sound like? But I can't hear it, but I'll hear it one day. I'll hear it one day. All right. So with that beat, one thing that jumped out to me was the intro. I understood what you were doing. Not having the intro kind of come in at a really expected point can sometimes create this type of tension. And then when it comes in, it can really pull in the listener. One thing with this beat, I almost feel like I want you to simplify it. I just want the intro to come in like maybe like it's like 4 bars, the first 4 bars to come in, and then just drop the beat, as opposed to kind of doing that kind of that OVO 40 Drake kind of, vibey type of thing in the intro in the beginning. We could cut that out and get straight to the drop, straight to the beat drop, and really pull in the recording artist. It sounds cool, just kind of vibing out, but I understand how impatient recording artists can be, so I would want that to just play. We feeling it, we feeling the vibes, we feeling good, and then the beat just drops and then it just pulls us in. Once again, I am feeling the drum programming, very good drum programming. There was a point a little bit later in the beat, I think it was around like the minute, I wasn't paying attention, the minute something point, and it felt like you did a little bit of a switch up, like a light switch up. I don't know if you just muted the kick, but it felt like a little bit of a groove switch up later in the 1 minute something mark. And it kind of threw me off a little bit. I want this beat to be more simplified. Just, let it drop for the hook and then just come right back to the let the beat drop out, the drums drop out for the hook, however you had it going. Then just bring it on back. We don't need too many switch up with this. This is a vibey beat. We're cooling, we're chilling. This is a vibey beat, so we don't need that little switch up that I heard there a little bit towards the end. But yeah, other than that, great drum programming. I just, once again, the hacked off information, the hacked off frequencies is taken away from it. So all right, so shout out to you, Neptune Blue, for submitting. Let's take a look at the chat here. All right, I definitely watch you rewind. It's 4 a.m. for me. I might not be awake Friday, but you might not be awake next Friday. Oh, I see what you're saying. You may not be awake next Friday. Okay. Well, Hector, hopefully we get to 1K. And like I said earlier, once I get to the 1K subscribers, then I'm going to do the marathon show. So please continue to watch the playback. Watch what you can on the live stream. And then we're going to have the 1K celebration party. And Hector, I want to see you there on that live stream, and I'm gonna watch too. I'm gonna watch the chat and make sure. I'm gonna screenshot your name right now too. Hold on, right there. Bam. I'll make sure that you in the live stream. All right. But yeah, Neptune Blue, you are welcome. You had a debate with myself about that intro. Okay, yeah, that happens at times. I remember I had a beat battle one time, and then I had a recording artist come to my studio, and then he was like, man, you might want to switch up that intro. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to hear somebody else. We can get in our own head. So sometimes another perspective can come in like, man, you might want to switch that up because that's going to, you want to do that. So, as producers, we're creative, and sometimes we have a lot of tools. So sometimes we can, there's sophistication and simplicity is something I like to say. So we can get super creative sometimes. But yeah, shout out to you, Neptune Blue. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like that is it for this week's Heat Check. So, brief show. Didn't have too many submissions this week. Last week was super crazy. But yes. You're welcome, man. You're welcome, Hector. And I appreciate you for calling me the GOAT. That I definitely do appreciate it. It takes a lot of work to do stuff like this consistently with the live streams and the videos and the shorts and all the other stuff. So yes, it is a challenge, but comments like this and everyone in the chat is what keeps me going. It's what keeps me showing up all the time for you guys. So yes, indeed, I appreciate that. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, give me about five minutes. Give me about 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'm going to have the community post up. The forum is going to be open for you guys to submit for next Friday's show. You see the link right now in the description. You'll see the link of the community post, DesmondASounds.com/review, and then I will be giving you guys reviews, of course, for next Friday's show. So be on the lookout for that community post. Make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to check out everything I have going on there. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a safe weekend. I want to see you guys next Friday on the Heat Check. So y'all be good. Y'all be safe. And I'll see you next time.